The church killed lots of Africans as slaves. Before the chains, before the ships, before the cries that vanished into the Atlantic, there was only the sea and the wind and the land our ancestors called home. But the ocean was about to deliver something darker than any storm. Along the coast of West Africa, stone walls still stand. Walls like those of Elmina Castle, silent now, but once they listened to screams. They came with sails marked by crosses, wooden ships cutting through the water like knives. Men who said they carried God, but carried guns. Sailors and priests from the Portuguese Empire stepped onto the shore with Bibles in one hand and shackles in the other. They called it discovery, but nothing was discovered. People already lived here, loved here, belonged here. They preached salvation, heaven, forgiveness. They spoke of a kingdom beyond death, but quietly, they began building another kingdom, one built on bodies, on labor, on stolen lives. The cross rose above the villages, and behind it followed the flag. Before boarding the ships, many captives were baptized. Water touched their heads. Foreign names replaced their own. Joseph, Maria, Daniel. As if a new name could erase a mother's voice. As if God approved of chains. They were told it would save their souls. Moments later, their bodies were sold. Far away in Europe, ink dried on parchment. Religious authority gave conquest a blessing. Decrees tied to the Catholic Church declared non-Christian lands open for taking. If you were not baptized, you were not equal. If you were not equal, you could be owned. Faith twisted into permission. Inside forts like Elmina Castle, there was a chapel upstairs. Candles burned, hymns echoed, prayers rose to heaven. But below, hundreds lay in darkness. No air, no light, no space to stand. Sunday worship above, suffering below. The same building, two worlds, one God, one silence. Soon others came. The Spanish Empire, then the British Empire, each claiming trade, each claiming civilization, each claiming destiny. But destiny always seemed to end with chains. Forts became markets, markets became prisons, and prisons became ships. They marched for miles, through forests, through heat, through dust. Mothers carrying children too weak to cry. Fathers pretending not to fear. Some fell. They were not lifted. Some prayed. No one answered. The road to the coast became a trail of footprints and bones. Below deck, there was no sky, no air, no names, only numbers. Bodies stacked like cargo, chains cutting into skin. The smell of fear, of sickness, of death. Above them, the ocean sang peacefully. Below, hell breathed. On deck, sailors prayed. They sang hymns. They thanked God for safe journeys. The Bible lay open. Verses about love, mercy, salvation. And beneath their feet, men and women suffocated in darkness. Faith spoken with clean lips, while cruelty stained their hands. Some missions built schools, churches, new beliefs. Some truly meant well. But even kindness sometimes carried consequence. Old gods were abandoned, languages faded, unity weakened, and divided people are easier to control. Organizations like the Church Missionary Society would later fight slavery, but by then, millions were already gone. Along the shores of Nigeria, the waves still return, again and again, as if searching, as if remembering the ones who never came home. The fishermen are gone. The villages are quieter. The sand keeps secrets. Because the ocean does not forget. It only waits. Faith was never meant to enslave. But in the hands of empire, even the cross can cast a shadow shaped like chains. History must be remembered, not to reopen wounds, but to understand them. Because when power hides behind holiness, darkness follows. And if we do not remember, the tide may rise again.